Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
That's right. My name is Mike Piroworski coming to you live from the East Coast. Coast with the most from the co-host with the most here on the Rundown. Two-way views, conservative news, and Greg, what's up with your chair? Is that a pogo stick or a chair? What do you got going on there?
No, you know what? I was doing a video earlier where I was raised a little bit higher, and my framing was a little bit different. And as soon as I came up in this shot, I realized my head, half of my head was off the screen. I was like, I gotta adjust my chair here.
Got to drop down a little. And my chair goes up and down.
Like a lowrider.
I got a little auto button on my chair. Watch.
How was your weekend, sir?
Not too shabby. Not too shabby. Dodged the rain event here in Florida. No problem. And went and saw some Premier League football. So I had a good weekend.
Oh, very nice. Yeah. Very nice. Who was playing?
Crystal Palace versus West Ham. So
very nice. Now, where were they? Were playing there in Orlando?
They played in Tampa. It was basically a preseason or an exhibition game that we call it. They call it a friendly. They played a friendly.
A friendly. Yep. Right. Well, I'm sure it was a good time.
It was a great time. Great time. Really was.
Yeah, around here, man, I got to tell you, it was really kind of chill. Got a lot of honeydews taken care of. Had some electrical things needed to get taken care of, so got it done. Did not electrocute myself, so that's a bonus. Yep. So, other than that, man, it was relatively chill.
Chill, baby, chill. Yeah. Oh, good. Good to hear.
Yeah, I've been following a lot of this news and the politics. I actually broke down and I watched a little bit of the Olympics, not because I chose it, but because the TV that I was watching, the person who, wound up watching some of the Olympics and enjoyed what I saw of it. I watched the skeet shooting.
Right.
That was fun. America took 1 and 2.
I didn't even know skeet were in season.
Yeah, well, apparently they're not necessarily in season, but it's the Olympics, so they put a little skeet out there.
There you go. Did they have the Turkish hitman there?
The what?
The Turkish hitman?
No, they did not have the Turkish hitman there.
Okay, all right. The guy that won the silver in the pistols last week.
Oh, no. No Turkish hitman.
Gotcha.
Fun stuff. All right, look, let's get ready to get into it, folks. Lots of good stuff to talk about today. But before we do, you know what we got to do, and that is start with a quick shout out to our sponsors.
Yeah, Hitman Industries, hitmanindustries.net. You got yourself that AR in the past 5 years, probably got one of their barrels and don't even know it. Well, now you can buy from them factory direct. And listen, they got a lot more than just AR barrels. They got AK barrels, VZ barrels, PPS barrels. Give them a call. You never know what you're going to get there at hitmanindustries.net. California Public Assembly fighting a good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. If you want the best in concealment holsters on the market, tactical holsters, get on over to Hog Holsters. That's HAWG holsters.com. That's hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown. That's all one word, no spaces, all caps. Get yourself a nice little discount. And if you want the best in field gear, tactical gear, web gear, getting ready for the election season, you can get everything except the gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors. I'm pretty sure, correct me if I'm wrong, and I can't necessarily say this for CRA, although they support veterans. All the other three are all veteran-owned and operated, correct?
That is correct.
All veteran-owned and operated. Yep. Every single one of these organizations contributes time, energy, and effort to help advance America. So support them as they support America. Take the moment, visit their websites. All you got to do is follow the links in the description to this program. Check them out. Spend some money with them. Make sure you tell them it was the guys over at the Rundown that sent you.
Yeah. So, Craig, before we're getting ready to come on the show, watching the old the Book of Faces here, right? And an ad pops up for a new holster, and they're saying that like waistband holsters bad. Now they've got this like belly band thing that you can put your gun in and your iPhone and your wallet and your checkbook. Who carries a checkbook? I don't know anymore, but they had this on there, and it's got a little Velcro grabber you got to pull up to one hand and get out with the other hand. Folks, I just want to tell you this right now. If you have to use two hands to get your gun out of wherever it is, you might as well just be home or not have a gun at all. All you're doing is showing the bad guy where it is. Oh, and by the way, when they take you by surprise, which they're always going to do, which hand do you think you'll be fighting them off with now? The one not grabbing the gun or the other one not grabbing the gun?
Maybe you'll be using the one that knocked the pole off the pole vault.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Did you, by the way, did you, I know you had to at least see that on social media, right?
Yeah, I saw that immediately with the whole, oh, it's not really at the Olympics. Okay, I think you're missing the point of the story.
Exactly.
Yep.
That was hilarious.
Yep.
I was like, yeah, pole vaulter, thwarted by his pole.
Yeah. Yep.
Bad stuff. Yeah. I'm sorry, folks. Look, I know some of y'all out there, I apologize if we got a little risque right there, but that was funny, so we're going to talk about it. In any case, let's start to get into the news. Or
I was going to say, speaking of which, the first story, can you bring the title screen up? And you could do just you and the title screen. Bring up just you and the title screen. Like you normally would.
I'll bring us both up. There we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. I just want to say that this is the first time in Craig's life he ever actually meant to type the word ducking.
Oh, Mikey got jokes. that ducking media. But no, seriously, folks. This is a big deal. It's like, so I want you to think about this. The last radio interview, or not the last radio, the last media interview that Kamala Harris did was like 5 weeks ago. All right, that was the last interview that she did. Now, think about all the things that have happened since then. You had the presidential debate that went so bad that Joe Biden eventually would be chased out of the campaign, right? Chased out of the race. By the way, by his own party, right? He got run out of the election on a rail by his own party. All right. Oh, I almost forgot. You had the assassination attempt on President Trump, right? After that, right? Then you had the Republican National Convention. Then you had Biden chased out of the race by his own party. And then she was named the presumptive nominee. Then she was officially handed the nomination. And yet and still, Kamala Harris has not done a single interview, a single unscripted interview with the media. And the interesting thing about it is, and this is what got me about this headline in Newsweek. It says Kamala Harris hasn't done an interview in weeks. Republicans have noticed. Now, this is how they always do it. When Democrats do something bad, evil, stupid, something that, quite frankly, legitimately needs to be brought up or discussed, it's always, the story isn't what they did. The story is that Republicans have noticed or they've said something about it. It says here, the last time Kamala Harris gave anything approaching an extensive sit-down interview with a major news outlet was on June 24th when the vice president spoke with MSNBC's Morning Joe to discuss how the then Biden campaign was preparing to attack Republicans on abortion rights. What a difference 5 weeks makes. 3 days after the interview, which Harris conducted alongside an abortion rights advocate, came the presidential debate that served as the beginning of the end for the Biden campaign. Trump was then nearly killed in an assassination attempt, followed by the Republican National Convention. Then Biden officially officially dropping off the ticket and Harris being immediately elevated to the party's standard bearer for November. In that historic whirlwind few weeks, the Democratic Party candidate for president has spoken to the press a handful of times, briefly defending Joe Biden's debate performance on CNN and CBS, and then late on Thursday, alongside Biden, after he welcomed home free Americans freed in a prisoner swap with Russia. So also appeared at an event hosted by Essence Magazine in early July, but she has yet to gather the media for an official press conference, either from the White House or from the campaign trail. Republicans have started to notice the lack of interviews or unscripted media appearances, accusing Harris of dodging or hiding from the press during what is widely seen as her honeymoon period. Now, the one time that she actually spoke to people was at, once again, this was unscripted when she actually spoke to people when the prisoners were released, and this is what she had to say.
This is an extraordinary day, and I'm very thankful for our president and what he has done over his entire career, but in particular as it relates to these families and these individuals, what he has been able to do to bring the allies together on many issues, but in particular this one. This is just an extraordinary testament to the importance of having a president who understands the power of diplomacy and understands the strength that rests in understanding the significance of diplomacy and strengthening alliances. This is an incredible day, and you can see it in the families, in their eyes, and in their cries.
A while ago.
Okay, I think we can clearly see there's no mystery as to why they won't let her talk to the media.
Yeah, it's nice because you could see even Sleepy Joe there at the end when Kamala got done speaking. He was like, "What'd you say? What the hell did you say? you sound like me, but you're not 85. You know, you just an idiot."
Yeah,
it's hard to believe that this is Craig. I mean, 3.5 years, 4 years, you and I have been talking about this, that they were going to do everything in their power to not put her in place because all they wanted was somebody to sit in the background and just be thankful they got the job as vice president while they control this guy over there in puppet land and make him do the marionette dance. This is, you know, now they're like, man, damn it, we miscalculated by 4 months. You know, now we got to listen to her. Crap.
Well, but see, by the Biden campaign, I think it was even more strategic because they were like, look, if you guys try to run me out of the campaign, out of the presidency early, keep in mind, that's what's waiting for you. And I think that's the reason why they tried to run him again. Yeah. Because people are like, I mean, think about this, man. They were running Joe Biden, a person who everybody knew. Everybody. I'm sorry. If you didn't know, then I don't know. If you were involved in politics or follow politics at all, and you didn't know that Biden was suffering from dementia, I don't know what was going on in your head. So if you didn't know, but they were still more comfortable with him than with allowing her to run for president.
Let's be clear. They weren't comfortable with him. They were able to control him, which is why they had him there. Because they could control him and dictate policy and everything else and just make him go out there and pretend he was playing president while the committee, you know, ran the show behind him. And again, they wanted her, they wanted the idiot in there because she would just, thank you for letting me be vice president. Thank you for letting me be vice president. But like I said, their timing was off. They thought they'd have a couple more years out of Joe.
Well, and think about this, though. So every event that Kamala has done, she's been speaking on teleprompter, which, you know, she's good off the teleprompter. Barack Obama was good off the teleprompter. But at least off the teleprompter, while he may have been full of a bunch of ums and uhs, Barack Obama could at least string words together in develop a coherent thought. Kamala Harris seems Kamala seems completely incapable of doing that. And that's the reason why they won't let her talk to anybody. That's the reason why they won't let her be interviewed. If you remember, the last interview she did was that one with Lester Holt. Not the last one, but one of the ones she did was with Lester Holt. Remember where he brought up, well, you haven't been to the border. She's like, we've been to the border. He said, but you haven't been to the border. She's like, I haven't been to Europe either. I'm like, okay, what does that have to do with? I mean, dude, it's beyond bad. In fact, I was going to save this for the parting shot, but this is an example. This video here is an example of how bad Kamala Harris is when it comes to getting asked questions that she wasn't prepared for.
Experiencing record inflation, the worst in 30 years, way beyond expectations. OPEC didn't increase oil production. Can you tell us a little bit about how you would prevent the new spending in your Build Back Better agenda from exacerbating the problem? And also, what else are you going to do to fix this problem with inflation?
All right, thank you. Well, let's start with this. Prices have gone up, and families and individuals are dealing with the realities of that bread costs more, that gas costs more. And we have to understand what that means. That's about the cost of living going up. That's about having to stress and stretch limited resources. That's about a source of stress for families that is not only economic.
You know what really gets me, Mike, is so now you have the entire Democratic Party is now saying, because Trump basically agreed to debate Joe Biden, right? Agreed to debate him on ABC. Well, Joe Biden drops out, Kamala Harris comes in, and now you've got all of the media basically saying, well, why is Trump scared to debate Kamala Harris on ABC News? No, he's like, I'm sorry, my agreement was with Joe Biden. Joe Biden's not the nominee. In fact, first of all, I'm not going to agree to debate anybody until your process is done, because I don't know who's going to be. I'm going to debate somebody, and then there may be somebody else who's the nominee. But then number two, why should I agree to you? I agreed to all of your terms. I gave you every single thing you wanted in the first debate. Now I get what I want in the second debate, and I want it on Fox News. And the reason why they don't want it on Fox News is because they know ABC will probably give her all of the questions. They'll fact check Donald Trump or lie and call it fact checking literally during the debate, because that's what they do. And she wants it to be basically 3 against 1. She wants the 2 moderators and herself against Donald Trump. And I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen. And there is no obligation of Donald Trump to debate her when and where she wants on her terms.
Yeah, like how she said in the campaign, it said, well, fine, we'll be here on this date. I think it was the 11th. We'll be there on the 11th to have the debate with or without you. My response to him would be, have fun without me. I got another 10,000 man rally in the morning and another 10,000 man rally in the afternoon.
Exactly. Well, and in the comment section, Michael Kent Bauer says, I'll bet she backs out of the debate. Got to keep her in the basement like Joe. Okay, Fox still have it on for September 4th. Trump with empty chair. Let Fox and people as Trump questions. Ask Trump questions.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, man, is once again, I'd like to see them next to each other. I'd like to see them debate each other. I'd like to see him hit her on her record. I hope he'll focus on her record, because that ultimately that's where he knocks it out of the park. Yeah.
Well, he gets good when he gets in there doing his freestyle thing. It just goes on for 2 hours. But he might come on. Like you said, he might freestyle it. But I think he's got no purpose going there, just like he did with the RNC. Hey, I mean, number 1 candidate. What else are we gonna do? I know it's closer this time, but set up your own parameters. Say, here's where we're going to meet. We're not going to meet there on the 4th. We're going to meet at Fox on the 7th.
There you go.
Just be done with it. Yeah.
There you go. And by the way,
Here's mine.
Fox
Here's where
has
I'm gonna
more
be.
viewers than any of those other networks. So if they want to reach the most people, sounds to me like Fox is the place to go. Just saying.
Yep.
And one of the top things I think I'd like to see him bring up is the Kamala crash. I know what you're thinking right now. What do you mean the Kamala crash? Well, if you've been following the news today, you know that the stock market, which by the way is one of the things that they have been touting forever, is look how good the stock market is doing. Well, today Dow drops 1,000 points and Japanese stocks suffer worst crash since 1987 markets, 1987 markets as quake worldwide. A scary Monday has started with a plunge abroad reminiscent of 1987's crash swept around the world and pummeled Wall Street with more steep losses as fears worsen about slowing U.S. economy. The S&P 500 dropped 3% for its worst day in nearly 2 years. The Dow Jones Industrial Average reeled by 1,033 points, or 2.6, while NASDAQ Composite slid 3.4%. Drops are the latest in a global sell-off that began last week. Japan's Nikkei 225 helped begin Monday by plunging 12.4% for its worst day since Black Monday crash of 1987. Now, Mike, excuse me. Now, a lot of this, most of this, what they're pointing to is the fact that they're looking at the U.S. economy slowing. And the reason why they're looking at the U.S. economy slowing is primarily because we put so much money into the market, into the economy, and now we're not backfilling it, right? In other words, we're not just dumping more money into the economy because we don't want to drive up inflation, while at the same time we're maxing out our personal debt. So people aren't buying. Now, all of this can be tied directly to the Biden-Harris economy, or Bidenomics, or shall we now call it Kamalomics. Kamalomics. This is a part of her record, right? I mean, the stock market and low unemployment were the only two real economic indicators that gave them any hope of trying to pretend that we had a decent economy.
Yeah, absolutely. This is, just watching this whole ordeal, Craig, watching it come around, and I've just, it's frustrating how many times we can continue to say the same thing. This is, failure on their part. This is coup d'etat on their part. This is underhanded. This is beneath it, but this is the norm. The norm. And I spent this weekend, and I sent you a bunch of videos as well, and I know we'll get to some of them. Just talking about, what are we doing? How have we come this far that, I get to, one side's got a president, or an ex-president, they don't like his speech, or, the way he talks to people. Well, you're an adult. Don't be offended by what somebody says to you or says to somebody else. So they replace them with these lying, cheating, criminal committing idiots on the left. I just throw my hands up.
Well, and I will say that there were some of those people who believed that Joe Biden was actually a moderate and wasn't going to take the socialist, Marxist, anti-free market positions to the degree that he did. I think those of us, once again, like you said, we were paying attention. We saw that he wasn't cognitively there when he was running for president. We knew that it was basically going to be run by a bunch of little neo-Marxists, and we were going to wind up getting what we got. And if we had done a better job of at least trying to take over the House of Representatives and actually controlling it, taking over the Senate, at least we would have been able to put a stopgap in some of this stuff. But unfortunately,
with the amount of cheat that went on, Craig, I don't know that we didn't take back the Senate and the House. You just saw the video of Sleepy Joe there getting the hostages back, and this guy's standing there in a daze doing the what? This is the true him. This is what you really get. This is what you see when you see, him more lucid and angry. By the way, those are more signs of dementia. They've been giving him double, triple doses to get him to come out for a day or two. They could have done that at the last debate, Craig. They chose not to. They were ready to move on from this guy.
Wasn't it funny how in that video, it looked like she was talking about him like he wasn't even standing there? I mean,
exactly.
She should have, if she really wanted to get some empathy, she should have said, would you like some num-nums? Would you like some tapioca?
Yeah. There you go.
Do you need to be changed?
Num, always. Yeah.
I mean, anyway, but yes, no, folks, keep in mind that regardless of what they tell you, the economy has not been good. It has been moving along because there is so much government printed money in the economy. And the worst part is, here's the thing. So they issue all these government bonds as debt. Nobody wants to buy our debt. So what do? They print money and have the government buy it. I mean, it is a money laundering scheme. It is a Ponzi scheme. And that's the reason why
amazing, right?
Inflation went through the roof, and your dollars are worth less.
Yep.
Because they're just printing money. And if Kamala Harris gets her way, if she's reelected, I mean, if she's elected, reelected, if she's allowed to remain near the White House, what you will see is the same sort of thing continue to happen. You will see the value of your dollar go down. You will see the economy continue to crash because you cannot just simply keep printing money. Gayle King said, he said in the debate in 2000 he was going to open the border, stop oil production, and push a Green New Deal. Okay, you're correct. Biden said all of that, but people didn't listen. People never listened to what Biden said. They listened to what the media told them about Joe Biden. Yeah. Right? They made Joe Biden look like this reasonable, this reasonable moderate who can work with Republicans. Just like right now, they're trying to make Kamala Harris look like the second coming of Barack Obama when she couldn't even get 1% of the vote 4 years ago, right?
Yeah, by the way, when did she get this nomination over the weekend? Were the polls open in California for that, Craig? No.
They did a telephone call and they talked to all the delegates. So about 2,500 delegates. Most of the votes, though, by the way, I believe, and once again, I can be wrong about this, came from super delegates. Those people with a whole bunch of party power, the party insiders who basically don't care what the voters have to say.
Yeah.
I mean, think about this, Mike. They could have had an election. They could have, if they were honest, they could have said Biden has no business running. Let's do actual primaries and let people compete against him. Instead, they wanted to push it through, act like he was going to run, and then name the nominee. And what are we spelling out right there?
Coup d'etat, and they pushed that through.
There you go. Coup d'etat. That's pretty much what happened right there. They'll never admit it, though, but because they're the party that wants to save democracy.
That's right. It's okay. They're allowed to break any laws, make any lies they want, because they believe that they're saving the country. Yeah.
They're saving democracy, exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, now this is the church, Mike. I think if I were going to be changing churches, I think this is the church that I might consider going to. This church, where's it at? Here we go. This is an article from over at Bearing Arms. It says here, church sees pews filled after blessing congregation with guns. This is from Cam Edwards. It says here, a Kansas church has figured out a pretty good way to increase its attendance on Sundays. Give away some firearms to congregants. The River Church of Kansas City, which is technically located in the suburb of Lenexa, Kansas, has blessed churchgoers with a variety of guns twice this summer. Once on Father's Day and again over Independence Day weekend. Pastor Christopher Zenner says he came up with the idea to raffle off an AR-15 as a part of the church's Father's Day celebration in hopes of making it a big, fun event. I got to say, man, once again, that might consider me to. I might consider, visiting that church on Father's Day or Independence Day.
Yes, as long as it's not a game day for you, right? Yeah, I'm pleased with my church. My church has the guns at the church, and I don't know that we use them the same way, but definitely welcome at our church, so we can.
But do they give them away though?
Defend. I mean, unless like this, there's a raffle or something. Most of the times we don't give our guns away.
Yeah.
We keep them.
Well, actually, at my church, we have a very, very Second Amendment friendly congregation as well. So our pastor's very, very supportive of the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
So we got no issues there. But I thought that was an interesting article that, while in search of 2A news, because we always try to plug at least one 2A story. And anyway, that was the most interesting one that I found. So I figured that's the one I would plug in. This one almost deserves to be a part of Parting Shots, this next story, because I find it almost impossible to believe that anybody in their right mind would suggest this, but she did. Nancy Pelosi suggests adding Joe Biden to Mount Rushmore. Nancy Pelosi suggested Sunday that Joe Biden's face be added to those of the 4 presidents carved into Mount Rushmore. It was during an interview the former House Speaker did with CBS Morning Show. She asserted that Biden was, quote, a consequential president of the United States, a Mount Rushmore kind of president, implying that his face should be next to those of George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Abraham Lincoln, and Theodore Roosevelt on the iconic monument. Mike, I'm not buying that one.
No, absolutely not. Listen, she's a senile, old, drunken fool as well. We know that about her. I did, ironically, Craig, I looked up this information that Mount Rushmore opened 1 year before Biden was born. So it's up there. It's a pretty old monument. It's been around quite a while. So yeah, I think they start building it in October of 27, and it was finished in October of 41, and Biden was born during the war in November of 42. So we actually found something that is older than Joe Biden, which is a feat in itself.
Older than Joe Biden, younger than dirt.
Younger than dirt. Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. New dirt.
And,
yeah. I mean, we got, yeah.
Yeah. It once again, I really believe that they're taking the whole, okay, if you get out, we're going to sing your praises. They're taking it over the top. I mean, I'll say this. I will agree that he is one of the most consequential presidents in history, in that he is likely one of the worst, if not the worst, president of all time. He's the worst president in my lifetime. I mean, he beat out Jimmy Carter by a mile. So, I don't know. So consequential, I guess, depending on how you define consequential doesn't necessarily have to be positive, does it?
I don't see consequential as positive, and he's definitely not a positive president, that's for sure. But yeah, Craig, they're going to do everything they can. Let him be in the background, and every week or two come up with some new award for him. And we're going to hear about him for a Nobel Peace Prize, right? We're going to hear about him for the cover of Time magazine before the end of the year is over. You're going to keep hearing things about him up until the election, where they try and make him out to be this graceful elder statesman that's voluntarily walking away.
Because they don't want him to slip up and say what he really thinks about being chased off the ballot.
Yep, exactly.
That's pretty much what it is.
He'll have some open mic time, and he will mention it.
Yeah. All right, folks. Well, hey, that brings us around to our parting shots. Parting shots are brought to you by Hog Holsters. Just go to hogholsters.com. Use the discount code The Rundown, all caps, no spaces. Get your hog holster today. All right, this first video I wanted to bring up, this was an interesting one because we talked last week about Joe Rogan and talked about how Joe Rogan believes that Kamala Harris can win. Now, if you remember, when we talked about it, it was because he believed that the Democratic Party, technology, and media companies were so, and entertainment, where everybody was so invested in pushing out a lie about who Kamala Harris is, that people, the average person who doesn't like Donald Trump or doesn't know about Donald Trump, is likely to believe them. So in other words, he wasn't saying she was great. She was great. He was just saying, look, because there's a conspiracy. Well, that's not what MSNBC was pushing. Check it out.
Not sure if you guys caught this, but MSNBC was exposed today for yet another set of lies. They deceptively edited together this video of different Joe Rogan comments to make it appear that he was singing the praises of Kamala Harris.
She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. She is a strong woman. She is a person who served overseas twice. She in a medical unit. She was a congresswoman for 8 years.
Yeah.
She is a person of color. She's everything you want. She's going to win.
No, she's not.
She can win. They just want no Trump, no matter what.
This is not reflective at all.
All right. Now, we saw, and I showed you the segment. That's not reflective. You can see where they cut it up in order to get her, in order to make it sound like he had her back.
He was talking about Tulsi Gabbard. That's who he was talking about. He wasn't talking about Harris. By the way, I'd vote for her. I got plenty of positions I would vote for her for.
I'm sure there are plenty of positions where you would vote for Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
I am quite sure that there are.
Hubba. Yeah.
Anyway, in the theme of talking about of addressing her issues relating to interviews or hard-hitting interviews, this from the Babylon Bee: Kamala bravely fields hard-hitting questions from reporters about where she got that adorable blouse.
Yeah, from the artist formerly known as Prince Estate, I think.
From the artist formerly known as Prince. But then, all right, so then we have the crash happens, right? And how does Kamala Harris respond? Kamala desperately Googles, what is a stock market crash?
Yeah. Yeah,
so that she can
she
put
thought a
together
stock
her
market
appropriate
crash
word
was
salad.
Yeah. She's horrible.
And by the way, since this is now her thing, right? In other words, she's not necessarily running things yet, but I mean, whatever credit Biden gets, she also gets. Whatever blame he gets, she gets. Historic, Kamala Harris becomes first black woman to destroy the world economy.
Yeah. She's a winner. She's such a winner.
She's a wiener. She's a wiener.
She's a ducking wiener.
And by the way, as I am getting ready and planning to go to Gun Rights Policy Conference next week, Mike sent this video over, and it reminded me of my first ever flight on Spirit Airlines.
Dude, I love that guy's shirt too, by the way. House music for life.
Oh, good stuff, good stuff. All right, folks. Well, that's it for the news today. But before we go, you know how it goes, what we got to do. We got to give another quick shout out to our sponsors. Take it away, Mikey.
Hitman Industry, hitmanindustries.net. Have lunch with the guys today over there. Listen, if you want to get yourself a barrel for your AR, they've got rifle and pistol calibers available. Any length you desire for your next rifle or pistol build with your AR. That's hitmanindustries.net. California Republican Assembly, fighting the good fight behind enemy lines. Now you can take part in California's future today. And if you want the best field gear, tactical gear, web gear, outdoor gear, you can get everything except a gun at uscombatgear.com.
That's right, folks. Please take a moment, visit our sponsors, follow the link in the description of this program, spend some money with them, and make sure you tell them the guys over at the Rundown sent you. And with that, we're going to call it a day. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you liking and sharing the program and encouraging your friends to do the same. We will see you tomorrow for Taco Tuesday. Till then, have fun, stay safe, and if you get a chance, make sure you send a few downrange. We'll holler at you later.